Hey guys, welcome to art. So at this time you might notice I'm not there. I'm not in the classroom and some of you are at home also. So we're going to get to do art all together, which is pretty amazing. So Rocky wanted to say hey because he kind of misses being in art videos. He was a star at one time and now he feels like he's fallen from grace. So he wanted to be in some videos. So this week we're going to be focusing on one element of art, and that is lines. We're going to use lines to create our whole art piece. It's going to be amazing and cool. And my outfit is our inspiration for our color palette this week. We're just using black and white. We are going to be making some amazing polar bears, just using lines and black and white. I like it. And then next week, we're going to learn how to finger knit and make scarves for our polar bears for a nice pop of color. So, are you guys ready? Let's go get our mediums materials and let's get creative. Bye. See you soon. Okay, guys, here are materials and our mediums for this week. We're going to need a piece of paper. So if you're at home, just go grab a sheet of white paper. If you're at school, we're going to hand you a piece of paper. You're going to need a pencil and an eraser. And if you have a pencil with an eraser, you're a lot better than I am. I cannot find a pencil that has an actual eraser, so I'm going to use that. And then you're, of course, going to need a Sharpie. If you're at school, if you're not allowed to use a Sharpie at home, you can always use a washable marker or any kind of black pen that you have lying around. Or if worst case scenario, you can use a crayon. I would not suggest using a crayon if you don't have to, but if you can find a black pen, that'd be better. So we are going to start in 1 second. First, we need to make sure we have all our materials ready. And are you all ready to go? Awesome. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm going to leave our polar bear right here because I'm going to have to draw with a pencil to show you the best way to do it. If you notice, my lines are not full lines on here. They're just dashed lines. And the easiest way to do that is not to just draw dashed lines. It's actually to draw the real line with a pencil, the full line, and then go back and erase it after we Sharpie it. So that's what I'm going to show you right now how to do. I just wanted this one out so we can see the shape. I'm going to start with his snout right here. And if you kind of notice, it's kind of an avocado shape. It goes small and big, and it actually mimics, which means it's kind of the same as his head shape, where it's thinner and gets broader as we go down. So we're going to kind of go at the middle of the paper, about right here, and I'm going to make the shape, which I'm going to start with an arc. You can probably barely see that, but you're going to be able to see it in 1 second. We're just copying this, and then I'm going to get bigger as I go. Just like this. I'm going to go ahead so you can see using the Sharpie, and this is how you're going to do it. After you make your line, then you're just going to go around the line you just made, making dashed lines, which just means you have lines in the middle. I'm just going around. I'm trying to follow my line, and soon you'll see the actual shape. There you go. See, it kind of looks like an avocado. Then all I'm going to do is use my eraser and go back and erase my pencil line. To work on the snout, we're going to go ahead and use your Sharpie, or if you want to outline it, draw it, and then color it in later, you can do that. So all I'm going to do is now make his nose, which is kind of a squashed oval or a zero on the side. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come about right here. It's pretty wide and pretty, not too thick, but it has a curved side, so I want to make sure I have that. And inside of it, I have a reflection. And I want to make sure I put the reflection, and unlike, when we make a reflection for the eyes, it's not a circle. It's actually going to be a banana shape. So I'm just going to make another arc, which is a different kind of line. So I have had straight lines, curved lines, and arcs. And then I'm just going to make one that matches it down, and there's my banana. And then I'm going to go back and just color in my polar bear's nose. So I was reading some cool facts while I colored this in. I'm going to tell you a cool fact about the polar bear. Did you know the polar bear's skin is actually black? That it looks like he has white hair and fur, but the fur is actually doesn't have any pigment to it. So it actually reflects the sun. The skin is so dark, it reflects the sun and it warms him up. So I think that's super cool that it actually has really black skin, and the fur of the polar bear actually doesn't have any pigment, which means it doesn't have any color to it. It doesn't even have a white color to it. That is all to keep the polar bear warm. because we know black attracts the sun and makes everything darker. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so now we're going to make his mouth, which are going to just be 2 J's. One's going to be the regular way to write the J, and then the backwards J. And I'm just using that same line to follow down and go up. Okay, so now we have the snout. I like to have the snout so we can build out of it. So the next thing, I'm going to pick up my pencil again, and I'm going to be making the larger avocado shape to go around our snout. But again, I'm making a full line, not the dashed lines at this point. So I'm going to just bump up here. I'm going to make an arc, just like that. That's the top of it. And then I'm going to come down, and go out and around the snout. I went off the paper because I was watching myself do it. There you go. Perfect. And we're actually going to cut this out, so you don't need to worry about the outside because we're going to use a cool background. And like I said, we're going to make a scarf for him to wear to keep him super warm. Then I'm just going to add shoulders and shoulders so he can have a sweater on for his scarf, so we know where to put his scarf. So the next step is we need ears. So they're not Mickey Mouse ears. They're not too big ears like Mickey Mouse. They're not pointed ears like a rabbit. So we want to make sure we come from one side, and we're going to do a line that's an arc again, which is just a frowning face. 1 and 2. Awesome. Now, the fun part. Pick up our Sharpie again. This is going to be a full line, so I can go ahead and outline it. And then I'm just going to do my dashes again. But for this one, I'm going to go around, just like this. Those are sideways, kind of just going, following my line. And this is different because now I want this one, I'm going to come down and follow the line again. If I want to get him a little bit closer, I can always go back and add more. I don't want to add too many at first. It's easier to add more later. And actually, okay, so since this line, you'd think I would follow it just like I did like that, but actually I'm going to do a vertical line, which are up and down. So I'm just going to come behind my line and make a vertical line, just like this. The main part about when we're drawing with lines, we want to be thoughtful with it. Because if I have, say, I'm going to get a scratch piece of paper. If I have my polar bear, and I kind of just make lines willy-nilly, yeah, that's not going to look good. So I'm being purposeful. I'm being thoughtful. That means that you have to be patient and think about where we're putting the lines. That's why we're doing it slowly. I know some of you guys like to be in my speedy arties, but you guys got to slow it down, okay? Just think it's going to be worth it at the end. And you have plenty of time to do this. So just slow it down. And then I'm going to mimic this at the top and just come down. Just like that. I'm using mimic a lot today. I guess that's my word of the day, mimic. We're going to now add our 2 eyes, which are going to just be on either side of our snout. And I'm just going to come and I'm just going to make a 0 and a 0. And then we're going to just add the reflection. And you can add whatever kind of reflection you want in your polar bear. I know some of you guys like to do cute eyes, and you can do that. That's fine. Whatever you guys would like to do, as long as it's an eye. And it's your best work. That's all I ask. Sorry, that is something on my computer. It's just telling me something fun. Okay. Next step is we're going to actually now go back, take this eraser, and erase our lines. And you can use, of course, the eraser that you have. So now I have the outline of my polar bear, but not a full line, which is what we wanted. Okay, so now here's when we are thoughtful and thinking about our polar bear. And where we're not just doing willy-nilly lines because we don't want it to look like a cactus. And that would be super sad. I'm going to start by going around the eye, which is going to make it kind of look like, if you notice, I'm not touching the eye. So it's not like eyelashes. I'm going around And I'm making eyes, lines that go around the eyes, just like that. I'm going to do the same one on this side. Okay, I'm going to actually do another layer, and I'm going to use that layer, and I'm just going to go in between my other two, kind of like that. See? I like to fill out the weird lines first, and then go back and do kind of the normal lines. This is the pattern of where the fur grows on the polar bear, so we want to make sure it's accurate. Okay, so now I have that part done. I'm going to come back and do the ears, and the ears are just following the arc of the line. So I'm just going around and making it smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, just kind of like a rainbow. But again, I'm not making full lines, I'm making dashes. Dashes, dashes, dashes. And then I get to the smallest point and I can't make any more. So I come back and I do it on this side. Take your time. If you notice, I'm thinking about where I'm putting these polar bear. Okay, another cool fact about a polar bear, they can run up to 25 miles per hour. So, fun fact, you cannot outrun a polar bear. If you could, I would be super impressed and you'd be superhuman, and I don't know if that's going to be a real thing. So, they also can swim really fast because they have to, I guess, catch things. I think they can swim 6 miles per hour in water, which is pretty fast if you think about how big they are. Okay, so we have the eyes done, and we have the ears done. Now we're going to kind of come in between and go out into the forehead and the snout part. These are all going to be radiating out just like this. And I'm going in between the eyes. These are vertical lines, which mean up and down. You guys call them hot dog, or you can call it shower lines, but these are called vertical lines. So we've had arc lines, curved lines, vertical, horizontal, and dashed lines. Second, we're going to have some other kind of lines. It's a line kind of day. Okay, so I've filled in between his forehead. I'm going to come down and kind of give him a goatee a little bit, which means down here with a beard. I'm going to move my pencil out of the way in case you want to see it. Right now, you don't need to be using a pencil at all. All these lines, that's why we can't erase them. You have to be thoughtful and smart. Okay, so I'm going to come down and just make some more vertical lines. Kind of like a goatee, okay? All the way down till I get to his neck line. There we go. If I want to add any more later, like I said, the good part is I can look and see what I need to add. So he looks kind of silly right now, which is okay. We're now going to do around here. Now, these are the different lines, and I want you to pay attention to this part. So I have lines right here. I want to curve my lines in a diagonal to meet in the middle. So I'm going to use my line. I'm going to take each line. So this is my line I'm going to use first. And I'm going to make a curved line, just like that, all the way. That's going up. It's going in a diagonal. All the way till it meets in the middle. Okay? I'm going to do that underneath it. And I go to this line. Okay, just like that. Okay, also polar bears can actually smell really far away so they can smell seals because I guess that's their main source of food. And I guess they need to have a really good smell. To do that, they can even smell underneath the snow, which is kind of crazy to think about. Polar bears are cool. My sister loves polar bears, so I was definitely inspired by her to do this. Shout out to my sister. I'm going to add a little bit right there. Keep on going, trying to get it to the middle. It's almost like, we would call this like rays of a sun. So it's kind of rayed. It comes out from here and comes right down over here. Like I said, I'm adding a little bit of a curve at the beginning and the end of it. Now, if you notice, it's starting to go, instead of up, it's starting to go down. So I'm just going to follow the way that I need to do. So now I finished this part. I'm going to come and do the same thing. Actually, I need to fill in this part. You're right. We're going to kind of do the same thing. These are going to be a little bit more, I like to make them bigger, just so they look a little different than the part right here. So these are a little bit more wide spaced out, and these are a little bit together a little bit more. We're going to do the same thing on this side, but instead of starting from this end, we're going to start from this end. And we're going to curve, just like how we did. So I'm going to start with this line. I'm going to curve out to meet that line. If you find it easier to start and go down, you can do that way too. This is about what you find more comfortable. Some people can only work one way to the other way. I'm going to show you both ways just so you can decide which way is more comfortable for you. Again, I'm trying to reach that middle part. If I need to add more, I go back and add more. You guys are rocking it. I know it. I can't wait to see them in real life. And like I said, adding the cool pop of color is going to be even better. Okay, so now I'm going to come back up here and add the lines. Here's the deal. Since I'm on a video and I'm working probably a little faster than you are because I've done this project before, you guys can pause me. You can go back and work if you need to. That is up to you. That's the cool part about art on a video, is that you can pause me at any point. In the art class, keep on calling the studio because I wish we were in the studio. If in our class, if I can't really pause, you can't really pause, you can't like hit it. And I'm just like sit there frozen until you're ready. But in art class, you can on the video. So if you need to do that, pause me. I'm not hurt by that. I'm just filling in some more. If I want to come back and I see any kind of gaps, if I don't like the way it looks, let's go back and add more. Okay, so I'm kind of done with this part. I might go back and add later. I'm not going to make you guys watch me add more lines over there. I'm going to come now and do these, because I have these two parts that need to be filled in. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to make one more line right here, just so it matches that. And then I'm just going to come and I'm going to make, okay, so these lines are kind of curved, or they're straight, but they're diagonal. They don't have the curve like these do, but they're going a diagonal. Just like that. Okay, so finish filling it in, go back, figure out how you can do it. You're going to go ahead and write your name, make sure your name's on it, and you're going to go ahead and cut it out if you're ready to do that, okay? You guys rocked it. I can't wait to see it next week when we can do our awesome weaving to make a wonderful scarf for our polar bear. Hope you had fun. See y'all soon. Let's get creative all the time, guys. See you soon.